So this is the follow-up story, the revolt in the quote-unquote Russian coup of Wagner against Putin. That's only showed that Putin and Russia are stronger than we thought. It has neocons in shambles to this day. And they're still bitching and complaining. I saw this video. It's in my watch history. I got to dig it up for you guys one of these days. Where the title of it was literally, I don't know if you saw it. I think it was MSNBC. The title of the video was Wagner troops give up on the rebellion. Like, that was so mad. You guys are fucking quitters. Anyway, they're going through the code process right now. And now I'm going to show you guys an example of how neocons will always twist any situation in order to justify more funding for the military-industrial complex. So after the Putin revolt, there's that bolster calls by U.S. defense hawks. So the short-lived mutiny by the Wagner mercenary forces against Russia, President Vladimir Putin, has bolstered the cause of defense hawks pressing for more money in Ukraine. Isn't that convenient? Isn't that convenient? So no matter what happens, they will always twist a story into a way and funding Ukraine more. Like, it gets ridiculous. No matter what fucking happens, this is why we support Ukraine more. The Denver Nuggets won the NBA championship. This is why we give more money to Ukraine. So let me try to explain. Let's see if we can understand the logic of this story here. Right?
What is that headline again? So I can look it up myself. I want to read.
Yeah, my bad.
Let me just tell me the headline. I'll look it up myself and read it later.
So this is funny. Putin revolt bolster calls for U.S. defense. So they saying that, hey, after this Putin revolt, this is the perfect time to send more money to Ukraine. Now, let me tell you, what sense does that make? So what narrative is the Western media spinning right now? The narrative that they're spinning desperately is that Putin has been weakened because of the revolt. That Russia has been exposed as weak and ineffective. The military is in shambles. Putin has lost confidence of the Russian people. If all that was true, why do you need to send more money to Ukraine to win? If that was true, if the Russian military was in shambles, if Putin was exposed as weak, you would be like, hey, you know all that billion we send you? You're good. Putin is weak. You're good. This is them admitting the fact that they are in shambles because the Ukrainian offensive is not going well. It's not going well for them at all. So that's why
I noticed they haven't reported on that, Nick. I noticed because I've been watching it because when I was trying to do that segment, I was trying to find they don't talk about it like they should. Like if they were winning, this be wall-to-wall covered. They don't really talk about, and sometimes they almost make it like it almost hasn't even really started happening. It's like they're trying to downplay it so much, and that's an indication to me, to your point, that this is not going well at all for them, at all.
Yeah, it is not going well for the Ukraine offense. I'm trying to find the receipt I saw earlier where they was talking about the amount of losses, and they got essentially no gains at all, and they was pressured into this offensive. I covered this before because for months they've been talking about this offensive. Like this offensive narrative started in like December, guys. That when they first started talking about Ukrainian offensive, counteroffensive coming. Then Ukraine was like, no, we don't got shit planned. In January, Ukrainian counteroffensive is coming. No, we don't got shit coming. We said Ukrainian counteroffensive. All right, goddamn, all right, let's do it. And now because they were rushed and they was pressured into this because there was reporting that Ukraine never had this plan. This counteroffensive was put on them by the West because the West was losing support for Ukraine funding. You have France, Germany, and UK having anti-NATO protests. You have a prominent party that have a leading candidate that's calling for less funding. So the West put the pressure on Ukraine, said that we need to see gains right now in order to justify this war. Hence the counteroffensive, which did not work. So that's why when this Russian coup happened, when the Wagner protests happened, that's why there was so much joy among the establishment because they saw hope in a narrative that they know is dead. Mm-hmm. At this point, they just start. They try to see how long they can last. This shit is over. Like Ukraine stand no chance of winning, and they know that's why they got to hype this up. Now, the other quick story I'm gonna relate this to, which is why I think it's important, because we all know why they want to expand this war. They listened to the U.S. defense hawks that wanted to spend more money in Ukraine to enrich military industrial complexes that already made record profits. we covered before that the Pentagon essentially cannot pass an audit. And I'm going to show you guys an example of why they cannot. People cannot even wrap their mind around how corrupt our government is. Like, it doesn't, like, people think our government is kind of corrupt. These motherfuckers are super PACs. These motherfuckers got super PACs that corrupt. Nigga, the super PAC is literally the icing on top of the cake. You get just getting started when you talk about super PACs. You want to know why the Pentagon can't pass an audit? The Pentagon has trash cans worth $52,000. But now I want to see your answer in the chat. What do you guys think a $52,000 trash can should do? Does it have Wi-Fi? Does it purify the toxins of the trash and emit a pleasant smelling odor? Is there a self-cleaning mechanism in the trash can? Explain to me what's a fucking $52,000 trash can. So they explain the sub-headline. With the military spending at record highs, many contractors have hiked the cost of relatively simple items. They get these giant budgets, and they're like, we don't know what the fuck to do with this. We got to watch these fucking funds. We got some money laundering to do. What are we going to do? This desk costs $70,000. You guys know why the Pentagon can't pass a budget? But that lady that was talking to Jon Stewart, she's going to fucking gaslight you. Say, you guys don't understand how audits work. Right? So I'll just read this. I'll just read these two paragraphs here. I'll read this one. In 2020, the Pentagon paid Boeing over $200,000 for 4 of the trash cans, translating to roughly $51,000 per unit. In a 2021 contract, the company charged $36,000 each for 11 trash containers, resulting in a total cost of more than $400,000. The apparent overcharge cost taxpayers an extra $600,000 between two contracts.
Nick, do we believe that this is an account? Do we believe Boeing is just doing this and the government doesn't know? Is that what people really believe? Like, we've been dealing with this company. Like, somebody don't got eyes and just look at the paper and be like, $52,000 for a trash can? What the hell is this? You get what I'm saying? Are we really to believe this? Or is this the way that they know, hey, we giving you this contract, go ahead and pad it, and we ain't paying for it. This is coming out of taxpayers' money. Or is that more likely what's happening? This is their work. They're patting each other on the back. We give you the contract, overpay, we overprice, charges, 4 trash cans, Nick. 4. For $200,000. That is absurd. Go ahead, Nick.
But a bunch of bootlicking fiscal conservative is worried about the homeless person. You worry about the single mother with food stamps. As the Pentagon is just openly being corrupt, and then as you blame the immigrant, as you blame the single mother on food stamps, they are laughing at your ass every single time. Every single time they say you blame the immigrant for corruption, they don't even know what we're doing. Oh man,
how are they? Because I was on food stamps. They had so many. When you would go into the Social Security office, they had so many signs. If you be corrupt, it's 10 years in prison, 5 years in prison, all this stuff. If you talking about skimming money for food, so you lie on the application so you could get more money to feed your kids, you going to jail, man. You're going to jail, but these people overcharging for trash can $52,000. Nothing. It's a mistake, guys. Sorry, Boeing. Come on, man.
That going to the double standard, the classist double standards that we talked about before. How remember the Pentagon sent an extra $6 billion to Ukraine, and I'm like, imagine what would happen if you lost $600 at the cash register.
Oh man,
you see how we don't live in meritocracy? It's literally a classic system. But now listen to this part, because not only just the toilet, there's so many examples. Listen to this. If you guys think that these are toilets that cost that fucking money, look at this. Jamaica Barons, a company that distributes parts manufactured by other firms, sold the Department of Defense 13 radio filters that had once cost $350 each. According to this article, They sold the Department of Defense 13 radio filters that once cost $350 each for nearly $49,000.
That's absurd, man. They have
right
no
open,
shame. You
right
have
open.
no shame. No shame
No
at
shame.
all.
They know Americans are so busy watching Netflix. They're so busy yelling at gay people. Right? They worry about gay people while they just doing this shit. They know they got a BT Wars on yesterday. Niggas don't care about this. Just openly corrupt. There was radio filters that once cost $350 each that they sold for $49,000 per unit.
Ridiculous, man.
Open
They're just
corruption.
laughing at us at this
I
point.
just laugh. I
They're
can just laugh
at us
because
at
it's so
this
ridiculous.
point.
I can only laugh because it's so ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
But they are laughing at us too, as you said, CJ. They laughing at us because you got people fighting over cultural wars as they just openly doing shit like that, openly robbing us, openly doing white collar crime. But you worry about what your neighbor, who he's sleeping with. That's what Americans are worried about. Anyway, that just show the corruption in the Pentagon. Most people have no idea how corrupt our government is.
So, Nick, if you're NATO left and you support, you understand how they can't get. Now, think about Marianne Williamson and all the other NATO left. Oh, I'm for this. You're for this? For trash cans, 200,000, and that money couldn't go to us? You see what I mean? It's so many different layers to be where you should just be anti-war and a layer of like this where you're being corrupt, but you're still pushing the war machine line. You're still pushing the Ukraine line. NATO left, and I'm going to keep saying this, NATO left is only anti-war in the abstract when it's a past war.